Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make these crochet slippers. Now these are really simple crochet slippers and I think that a beginner can catch on to this tutorial. So what we're going to need for this project is a crochet hook, and the hook that I'm using is a size L 8mm. You're also going to need a yarn needle or some type of a needle. I'm using this plastic one that I purchased I think at Walmart, and then I have some scissors. And optional, if you want, you might need a measuring tape. Okay, and then of course you're going to need your yarn, and I have a lot of leftover Bernat yarn from making blankets, so I'm going to use that yarn, and this is a thick chunky yarn. Okay, so to start this project or any project, you're going to need to create yourself a slip knot, and I do have a tutorial on my channel if you can't catch it here, but I'm going to try to show it here. Okay, so just wrap the yarn around your finger 2 times. That bottom loop right there, you're going to bring it over the top, kind of making an X, and then like tucking it under and just pull. So that's the way I make my slip knots. And then you're going to place that slip knot onto your crochet hook. Give it a little tug so that you have good tension. And then you're going to make yourself a foundation chain of, I think I did 17 in this tutorial. Now keep in mind, because this is something that you're going to wear, you can customize this, so you don't have to do 17. You could do 15 if your foot is smaller, you could do 12, you could do more if your foot is a little bit larger. So here I am, I'm just showing you how to do a foundation chain, and I'll put a link in my in the video, as well as down below in the description, on how to do a foundation chain if you can't catch on here. And like I said, this is customizable, so depending on the size of your foot, that's going to be pretty much the size, and you just want to make sure you go like 1 inch shorter. So I'm going to go ahead and measure here just so you can kind of get an idea what I'm talking about when I say measure. Oh, I'm sorry. First, I'm going to show you how to count the chain. So here we are. If you look at your foundation chain, you lay it down and you see your V stitches, you're going to be able to count that easier. And I'm just counting here just so I have an idea on how many stitches I did, so I can show you all. But you can also just measure it. Okay. And so here I measured about 9 inches. So this footie that I'm making, or the slipper sock, it can fit anywhere from a size 8, 8.5 to maybe even 11. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and insert your crochet hook into that first stitch, and you're going to create a single crochet. Okay, I'll show you again. Insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 2 on your hook, and then you're going to pull off the bottom 2, leaving 1 on your hook. And you'll continue doing a single crochet all the way down your foundation chain. So what I would suggest is just at the very beginning here, just count your stitches, because for 2 reasons. One, you want to make sure you have equal number in the row, because it's going to be important that you get a rectangle or square. And then 2, you're going to have to make another sock that looks exactly like this sock. So you want to make sure that you have the same amount of stitches. Okay, and you see my work is curling up a little bit. I am crocheting this tight with reason, because it is going to be a sock and I want it to be warm. So my tension is a little tight, but that's okay. I'll show you in a second. So continue working all the way down the row, and then you're going to chain 1. So you see how it's kind of curly? That's okay. Just pull it out, stretch it out a little bit. It's still going to be, it's still going to make the sock exactly the way we need it to look. So chain 1, turn your work, and then in that first stitch, right where my thumb is, you're going to create another single crochet. See right there. Perfect. And then you're just gonna do single crochets all the way down the row. If you stretch out your work a little bit, you can see the holes a little bit better. So that's just a tip. Just kind of stretch your work, and then you'll see the hole, the next stitch that you need to work into. And just continue working all the way down the chain until you get to the end of that row. You see how that's looking? So this is going to work up really quickly. And I'm just showing you here for your next row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then put a single crochet stitch into that next hole. And you're just going to do that down the entire row until you get 17 rows completed. So we did a foundation chain of 17, and we're going to do 17 rows. So that way we have like a square, and I'll show you that in a moment. So just keep on working. And you can pause the video now if you want and finish working and then come back, because I'm going to show you a little bit further along in the project. Okay, so once you start working it, that's what it's going to start to look like. So here I'm going to try to attempt to show you what a row looks like. You see how my finger, I'm counting the rows, so that's how you can tell how many rows you have. Just kind of, you can see like a bump and I guess it's like a raised area, a slumped area, a raised area. Just count those, and that's how you know how many rows you have. So in this case, I didn't have quite 17, so I'm going to go ahead and do a few more rows so that I get a total of 17, because I want a square for this project. Okay, and just keep working. I found this example of this. I'm not sure the name of the crocheter, but I'll definitely link that in the description box below, just so that I can make sure that I give you the right credit to the right person that I got the ideal from. Okay, so here you are, you have yourself a square, and it's okay if you do a little bit more rows, it's fine. It's still going to turn out like a cute little sock. So now we're going to construct our sock, and this is a sock. I know it's hard to believe, but it is a sock. So we're actually going to, I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you fold it over here, it just looks like you folded over a square. But once we stitch it together, that's when the magic happens. So you're going to just kind of stitch along the sides, the top, the side, and the bottom, and that's how you're going to construct your sock. Okay, so here we go. The way I do this part is I first have to end this. So the way I do it is I kind of stretch the yarn across the project diagonally. This is how I can determine how much yarn I'm going to need to complete my project. So this is just what I do. I don't know if this is an exact science to that. That's just what I do. Okay, so once I have determined how much yarn I'm going to need, because I'm going to sew again, guys. You're going to go ahead and cut the yarn, and then you're going to finish off your work. So to finish off your work, you're going to do like you're going to crochet and then just pull that string all the way through, and that's going to create a knot at the end, which is going to finish your project. Okay, now this is where the magic happens. Okay, we're going to go ahead and string up our put the yarn onto the plastic needle, and I'm using a super large eye because it's easier to work with that with this yarn. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do like a running stitch. So I'm going to turn my work over because it's easier for me to work from this direction, from right to left, and I'm just going to run my needle along the top, and just watch how I do this here. It's harder for me to explain it, but I'm going to show you exactly how to get the toe of your sock completed. See how I'm doing that? It's just I'm kind of just like going under each of those little loops. And I've made a few of these socks, like probably about 5 or 6 pair of these socks. And I can't say for sure that I did it this way every single time. So I'm going to say that it doesn't have to exactly be like this. The main thing is you want to be able to pull it all together. So if you're a sewer, you might have a better way of doing this. But this is what worked for me pretty much 90% of the time. Maybe even 99%. Do you see here how I'm kind of pulling it and that it's gathering, and that's what you want to happen. So if you want to kind of test it as you're going along to make sure that you're getting that gathering of the toe of the sock, then that's what you'll want to do. So just see how I'm doing that there. And really, this is so funny because this only takes about 30 minutes to complete. And I know you can go to the store and buy some socks. I get it. But it's just really fun. It's really fun and it's really cute. And I love creating things. So I hope you enjoy this and actually try to make it just so that you can say, hey, I made myself some socks. Okay, so I'm getting to the end here. And I just kind of work a few and then I pull the string, you know. And I didn't want to speed through this part because I wanted you guys to see kind of how it really comes together. So, and just pull, pull, pull. Now I've worked my yarn all the way to the other end, and now you see how I'm just gathering all that together. Oh, that's so cool. Yay. Can you see it now? It looks more and more like a sock, right? Okay, so now I'm just kind of working with it, working with the, you know, working with the crochet project to just kind of get it shaped the way I want it to look. Okay, and just take your time here. If you watch my purse tutorial, this is how your sock comes together. This is how your project comes together. So you don't want to rush this. Just make sure you get it stitched up because you don't want your toe sticking through it. You know, you don't want it to come apart. So here I am now. I'm just going to sew up this area here. I'm just going to sew that together. See, I'm just lining it up and I'm just sewing it. So I'm taking, I don't know, you can see, it's easier to see it than me trying to explain it, but just, that's all I'm doing, just sewing up my sock. And I love to wear these when I'm mopping because, you know, when you're mopping the floor, it can be slippery. So I just grab my little booty socks, throw them on, mop my floor, and then I just put them away. So that's kind of how I use my socks. Sometimes I'll just sit around in the house in them, but mainly I could call these my mopping socks because they're, you know, they're comfortable and they get it done. Okay. See that hole? We don't want any holes, guys. So go ahead and stitch up that hole too. If you have any holes, just stitch them up. It's good. This yarn is perfect because it does not show any kind of imperfections. You can't even tell. Looks like a professional sock that you made. Yep, get all them holes done. See, look. I've just worked it up. That's what I did. And now, I kind of went up halfway. Well, not even halfway, probably like 1/3 of the way, because that's going to be like the toe area. That's where your foot goes. And then the back, that's what we're going to stitch up next. Can you see it now? Really neat, huh? Okay. So just keep in mind when you're doing yours, because you're going to be doing a right foot and a left foot, in most cases, you just want to make sure that you're doing the same thing to both socks. So don't make, like I say, you know, if you're watching any of my other tutorials, nothing is an exact science with me. It's really about having fun and just doing something and, you know, whatever. So just either eyeball it or count your rows or measure it with the measuring tape so that you have, you know, socks that look the same, you know. So anyway, now here we are. I'm just stitching up the back, and we stitch up the back the same way we stitched up the front. You're just gonna put the yarn needle through both sides, and in this case I'm just kind of going around, like over. I'm like doing an over type situation. One day when I become a true sewer, I will use all the correct terminology for this, but anyway, I'm just kind of going over and just, you know, you see. Okay, and then what I do this. I go back up. So I started at the top, I work my way down to the heel of the sock, and then I'm going to work my way back up because I want the two strings all to be together. And I want to make sure that the sock doesn't come apart. So now at this point, I'm at the bottom. I'm just going to do the same thing going back up. You see those strings? I want all those strings to be together in the end. Okay. Back up she goes. This is really all this is doing really for me is getting all my strings in the same place, and it's it's really securing the sock, because I don't want it to fall apart, especially if you're giving it to somebody, come on. Okay, once I've gotten to the top, I'm going to push the needle back through to the inside of the sock, and those other two strings, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to get them back through to the inside of the sock. That way I can tie it off. And you have like the inside of the project and the outside of the project. They're all on the inside, so A, you're not going to be able to see the knots, and B, I can just kind of tie everything together. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to tie the first string to the second string, the second string to the third string, and then I weave those in and I cut it. So anyway, that's it. It looks really tiny. It's not tiny, guys, I promise. I'm going to show you at the end how this fits my foot. And actually, this is too big for my foot, but like I said, it's for somebody. So right here, I'm going to show you how to make a little pom-pom. So if you don't need to know how to make a pom-pom, and you like it the way it is right there, you're done. But you know me and my embellishments. I love to add that extra little flair. So here's how you make a pom-pom. Now, there are tons of tutorials on YouTube on how to make it. I'm just doing it so I can show you. So this is a complete video. You can get everything in one spot. So this is how you do it. You just wrap the yarn around your hand. You're going to tie some string in the middle. It's best that you can get it. Tie it real tight a couple times. Get a good strong knot right there. And then you're going to cut. You're going to cut the loops. And then that is going to be your pom-pom. You're going to shape it up though. Make sure it looks really cute the way you like it. And I mean, that's pretty much how you do a pom-pom. But like I said, there's tons of tutorials. I'm not a pom-pom master, but I know enough to be dangerous, Oh, this is real messy too, guys. So if you can get some paper, trash can, I suggest you do that. Because once you start cutting those loops and getting it shaped the way you want, real messy. So anyway, just go ahead and get your pom-pom if you want the pom-pom, and then you're just going to attach it to the shoe, the booty. You're going to just attach it. So just take the yarn needle and then just sew it on wherever you want it, in the front, in the back, wherever you want your pom-pom. Okay? And that's it, guys. That is your boot. I mean, that's it. It was simple. I loved it. And it shouldn't take you that long. You know. Shouldn't take you that long to complete. Look at that. So there's your two options. One with a pom-pom, one without a pom-pom. So anyway, that's what it looks like on my foot. And it is, like I said, it's a little big, but that's okay. It's for somebody else. I'll wash it. So there it is. And then this is another pair that I made. So isn't that cute? I love it. I love it. But I love all my projects. So anyway, that's what that looks like. So be sure to check out my other videos. If you have any questions, please be sure to let me know. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.